everyone, this is iCoach and I welcome you all to another exciting episode. In our previous episode, to those who watched it, you realized that we discussed all the factors that you need to consider when choosing a university for your study abroad. In this episode, we will take you through all the factors that you need to know when choosing a country, which is one of the most important factors to consider in the study abroad program. We are aware that there are 1,000,001 things that you need to consider, but we take you through the most important ones and give you advice on what you can do. Remember, you will need to subscribe to this channel for more updates on the study abroad program. This is iCoach. We'll be right back. Again, hello guys. Hello guys, this is welcome. Remember to subscribe to this channel, watch our videos and share with all family and friends. iCoach team of career experts have put together 5 main factors that you need to consider when choosing a country for your study abroad journey. We have the most important one, which is visa regulations, language. We have the cost of living, culture and employment opportunities. We will take you through all of them and give you advice and guidance as to what to do. Let's get started. The most important one is visa requirement. Of course, without student visa, international students are unable to travel to their study destination. And so when you talk about visa regulations, they vary from country to country, from state to state, and from province to province. So when you're choosing a country for your study abroad program, you would want to consider a country that requires no visa at all, or a country that has got a straightforward visa application, or let's say hassle-free visa application, either with an affordable fee or with no fee at all in the process. And another one that you can look out for is how easy is the country able to grant you student visas. There are countries that are quite strict in their grants, and so you want to consider countries that are very flexible in their visa grants or decision making. And there are also countries that require the main applicant to travel with their immediate families or their dependents. When I say immediate family, I mean your spouse and children. So countries allow you to travel with these families. So you have to look out for such countries. And you also want to find out if after graduation, there is visa available to stay and work. So you have work visas. So does that country give work visas to international students after their studies? And does that also lead them to residency or permanent residence? So you need to look out for all these when it comes to visa regulation. Don't worry about that. If you have any question regarding this, make sure you leave all your questions at the comment section. We would delve much more into visas and visa regulations country by country to give you more insight about this. The second factor is language. You need to ensure that you are able to communicate with the people in the country that you have chosen, because not being proficient in the language of the country can be very challenging academically and socially. So check what the national language is for that particular country that you have chosen for your study abroad program. And if you are required to learn any basics, you would be able to do that when you have already checked the local language. And another one that you have to look out for is that in some English-speaking countries and non-English speaking countries, you may be required to take a language test, which you would need to provide to your university or the immigration before you be either admitted to the course or you will be granted visa. So it's definitely worth being aware of this information. The third factor you need to consider is cost of living. Now, cost of living expenses like food, accommodation, clothing, and transport vary from country to country, and it will be worth checking this before arriving or settling on a country for your study abroad program. And you will save a huge amount of money by looking around to see if the country's cost of living really match your estimated budget. So I would really encourage you to check the cost of living of a country that you would need to study in the next few years. Another one we'll talk about, which is the fourth factor that you need to consider, is employment opportunities. So you will want to find out if there are jobs available to you as an international student. If I say job, I mean part-time job while you're studying. So does the country offer you part-time jobs when you're studying? Because I know that there are some countries that offer limited work permits to international students when their course has already commenced. So you also want to find out if you are helping yourself for your living expenses, or you are paying a part of your fees, if the university or the country that you're going to study in has got these offers available. You also want to consider looking at a country that allows international students to work full-time when they graduate. So after your graduation, what next? You need to find out if you are able to work full-time and if there are full-time jobs also available that match the course that you really study. So these are the employment opportunities that you need to consider before choosing a country. And last but not least factor that you need to consider, which is mostly overlooked, is culture. Most people overlook culture as a factor that needs to be considered when choosing a country, and I call it a culture shock, because most people get into a country and they get lost because of their different cultures. And so it is very important to consider culture, and it's no doubt that you would experience different cultures definitely when you migrate to a different country. So you want to find out from the country if they've got similar cultures, or if the cultures that they have you can easily adapt to them. Another one is the climate, still on the culture. So countries have got different climates, so you want to find out if you can easily acclimatize to the climate of that particular country that you're considering to select. So remember, this is iCoach, and whenever you are stuck in your search, whenever you're confused, whenever you need advice, whenever you need professional guidance and coaching, iCoach will always be here to guide you and to give you that advice that you would need before you settle on a country for your study abroad journey. So in summary, make sure you have really researched and have known the visa regulations of the country that you want to study, the language, the culture, the cost of living, and employment opportunities available to you before landing on that country. This is iCoach. Remember, we are always here to help you in this journey. Leave all your questions, and if you want more clarification, leave all of them at the comment section, and we would endeavor to get back to you with the best answer that you would require. iCoach with BM. We rise together.